Okay. So, ito yung exercise last time na sinend ko sa inyo. So, marami sa inyo nasagot yung letter A or may iilan sa inyo nakasagot ng letter A. May a few na nakasagot ng letter B, isa na nakasagot ng letter C, and then I think a couple na sumagot ng D and so on and so forth. Okay, so ang gagawin natin, isip ko kung i-discuss natin lahat. Kailangan ba natin i-discuss lahat or gusto niyo na ano lang, parts lang? Oo. Kasi basically, ang letter A at saka letter B, nandoon yan sa ano, nandoon yan sa book. Okay, dinerive yan sa book directly. Okay, and pati yung letter C. Kasi yung letter C, you can see it from, okay, page, nga lang. Okay, section 6.3. Okay, so, ito makikita nyo sa section 6.3. Yan. Okay, so ang makukuha nyo yung wave function, o makukuha nyo dito is yung wave function corresponding to yung tinatawag na Hermite polynomials. Okay. Of course, unang Hermite polynomial na makukuha nyo is yung ground state na Hermite polynomial, ground state wave function. Okay, ito, again, nasa book yan, dinerive din yan sa book. Okay, and itong mga to ay, itong iba, excuse, ay hindi naman necessarily dinerive sa book. Okay, pero pwede natin i-gawin ngayon. Okay. So, sige, dito tayo magsa-start kasi um, yung concept okay ng um, Dirac notation okay makes it easier to solve problems in quantum physics, particularly because you can tawag dito uh, tawag dito mathematically formally mathematically put the equations or the description okay in matrix notation. So what you need to do is to do simply need to tawag dito if you have a system, ilagay nyo lang siya sa matrix notation or sa Dirac notation. Okay, and to solve the problem, kailangan nyo lang i-diagonalize. Okay, and it sounds simple, okay, pero of course, ang nagpapakomplika talaga dyan is yung potential. Tulad ng sinabi ko sa inyo, iba-iba yung potential kasi for different kinds of system. Okay, so yun yung crucial dun sa part na yan. Okay, yung potential. And in some systems, okay, meron pang interaction and syempre mag-iiba yung form ng equation mo in terms of yung creation tsaka annihilation operators. Pero yung essence ng tawag dito, creation and annihilation operator ay ginagamit pa rin regardless kung anong klaseng system 'yan. Um, if you for example, yung concept ng superconductivity na makikita nyo rin doon sa book or even yung semiconductors, they use yung Dirac notation, yung annihilation at creation operators. Okay, and it's fundamentally the same. Okay, so the way we treat yung annihilation at creation operators here is fundamentally the same with how we treat them regardless of yung system. Okay, so ngayon harmonic oscillator, tomorrow you might be studying semiconductors or superconductivity and you're still going to use itong mga concepts na ito. Okay, so let's do letter D tsaka letter E. Okay, para lang maintindihan nyo kung paano siya ginagamit in terms of or kung paano siya kino-convert sabihin na natin to linear to matrix notation. Okay, wait. Saan na yan? Okay, so let's do this. So, syempre i-define muna natin yung ano, yung yung ano. So, ito yung gagawin natin ano, letter D. Okay, define muna natin yung B operating on state N. Okay, so this is tawag dito annihilation operators. We expect na yung sagot natin dito, okay, will have the wave function n minus 1. Okay, or the state n minus 1. Okay, in this case, um, ang normalization lang dito is square root ng n. Okay, and then yung state will become n minus 1. Okay, so it's a annihilation operator kasi you reduce the state from n to n minus 1 and then you simply include itong normalization na, ano, na function. On the other hand, for the creation operator, yung state aangat from n to n plus 1. Yung corresponding na ano dito na normalization is n plus 1 raised to the 1 half. And then n plus 1. Okay? So, ganun din, when you perform creation on a state, then you push that state to go up with the normalization of n plus 1 or square root ng n plus 1. Okay, so yan yung gagamitin natin dito sa ano sa letter D. Okay, so sa concept ng matrix. So pag-derive ng matrix elements. Okay, and so ang definition natin ng X, if you recall, okay, okay, so X equals yung position operator ay equal sa asan na yun? H bar over 2m omega raised to the 1 half and then B plus B dagger. Okay, and yung square, okay, yung ano, position operator ay equal sa H bar over 2m omega. Okay, and this will become B plus B dagger squared. Okay, and remember na hindi nagko-commute yung B tsaka B dagger, di ba? So, essentially, ang gagawin lang natin dito is an expansion. Okay, so B plus B, B dagger plus B dagger, B plus B dagger, B dagger. Okay? Okay, so, yan yung gagamitin natin ngayon dun sa, ano, sa pag-derive nitong matrix elements nito. So let's start with x operating on the state function n, the state n. Okay, so from our definition, this will become h over 2m omega raised to the 1 half. Okay, and so this is b plus b dagger, uh, ket n. Okay, so i-ano natin yan separately, i-treat natin yan separately. So we have B ket n plus B dagger ket n. Okay, this will give us H bar over 2m omega raised to the 1 half. From definition, yung B operating on ket n will give us square root of n minus 1 plus yung B dagger operating on ket n will give us n plus 1 raised to the 1 half ket n plus 1. Okay. Now, if we apply the state M on this new wave function, remember that this is a new state or new wave function. Okay, so what essentially we'll get is h over 2m omega raised to the 1 half. Then n to the 1 half at m n minus 1 plus m plus 1 raised to the 1 half get m n plus 1. Okay, and what we'll get is h bar over 2m omega raised to the 1 half n to the 1 half Kronecker delta m n minus 1 plus n plus 1 to the 1 half Kronecker delta m n plus n plus 1. Okay? So yan yung lalabas dito. Now in the matrix, since m ay equal sa n minus 1, at saka m ay equal lang sa n plus 1, so dun ka lang magkakaroon ng matrix elements. So m is not equal to n, so ibig sabihin wala kang matrix elements sa diagonal. So yung diagonal mo is 0. Pero meron ka matrix elements above the diagonal and then below the diagonal. So ito yung ibig ko sabihin. So if you write that out in matrix notation, so m, x, n, okay, so what we'll get is something like this. Okay? So simulan natin sa 1, 1. Okay. Isulat natin dito yung sagot. M, x, n is equal to h bar over 2m omega raised to the 1 half. Okay, so nakalimutan ko yung constant. Okay. So h bar over 2m omega raised to the 1 half. Okay, and then meron tayo dito. May ako nilalagay yan. Closing parenthesis. Tapos n squared ng n. Squared ng n. Um, Kronecker delta m n minus 1 plus square root ng n plus 1 Kronecker delta m n plus 1. Okay, so let's say m equals 1, n equals 1. Okay, so walang sagot dyan, di ba? So, but that corresponds dun sa first element ng matrix. So, this gives us 0. Kasi, this is 1, di ba? This is 1 and this is 0. And this is 1, tapos ito naman ay 2. Okay, and of course, that gives us 0. Kasi dapat equal silang dalawa. Right? So for m equals 1, n equals 1. Okay. So by the way, yung m, remember na yung n ay yung column matrix. So ito yung mga n mo. And yung m ay yung row matrix. So lahat ng ganyan. So pag m equals 1, n equals 2, that corresponds to the first row and to the second column. Okay, so this is the first row, first column. Yung first row, second column will give us, okay, so 1, x, 2 equal to. So, yung constant raised to the 1 half. And then, ito ay 1, tapos ito ay 2 minus 1. So, square root ang bibigay sa atin to square root of n plus 0. So, ang sagot lang dito is square root of n. Pero yung n is 2, so square root of 2. So yung sagot dito is square root of 2. And then for m equals 1 to n equals 3, 4, 5, and so on. So 1x, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, and so on. That will also give us 0 kasi hindi niya masasatisfy itong condition na ito. Okay? Okay. So puro 0 na yan dyan. Hanggang dun sa dulo. Okay, then now let's take a look at the second row, first column. Okay, anong ibibigay sa atin ito? So this will become 2 and then x operating on 1 at ang ito is 2 and this is 1 minus 1 so that's Kronecker delta 2, 0. So that will give us 0. Ito naman ay 2, tapos this will give us 1 plus 1, 2. So, ang bibigay sa atin yun is n, square root ng n plus 1. Pero n is 1, so square root of 2. So, ang sagot dito is square root of 2. Sorry. Okay. Times yung constant, of course. Square root of 2. So, dito, lalagay natin square root of 2. And then for m equals 2, n equals 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth, or 2x, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth, it will give us 0 kasi hindi masasatisfy ito at saka yung equations na yan. So, puro 0 na yan dyan. Hanggang lang sa dulo. Okay, and yun nga, if we continue further, so for example, m equals 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. Tapos yung n equals 1, so yung first column lang siya. So this will give us 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth, x, and then 1, first column. This will also give us 0 kasi hindi masasatisfy yan. So, tuloy-tuloy yan lang dyan. Okay. Pero, and then yung mga diagonal elements also will be 0. Pero yung mga off-diagonal elements, yun yung hindi magiging 0. Sorry. Mali ito. Mali ito. So this will give us square root ng 3. Okay? Bakit square root ng 3? Kasi tingnan natin ha. This is the second row of third column. Okay? That's second row, third column. So that will give us h bar over 2m omega raised to the 1/2. Tapos from here, this is Kronecker delta. So square root ng 3, and then Kronecker delta 2, and then 3 minus 1, so 2, plus square root ng 4, and then Kronecker delta ng 2, and then 3. Sorry, 4. Okay, so this gives us 1, and this gives us 0. So, ang sagot dyan is 3. And in the same way, pag third row, second column, okay, ang ibibigay naman yan sa atin ay, okay, so square root ng 3. And then from here, third row, second column, so 3, 1, Kronecker delta 3, 1, plus square root ng 3, di ba? 2 plus 1, and then Kronecker delta ng 3, and then 3, 3, 3. Okay, so this gives us 0, and this gives us 1. Okay, so asan yon? Third row, second column, so square root ng 3. So lahat ng first off diagonal elements above and below ay magkakaroon ng values. Okay, so this will become square root ng 5. Ito ay square root of 5, and so on and so forth. Oops. Dito dapat yung square root of 5. Okay? So, ganyan yung mangyayari dyan. Okay, so yan ang itsura ngayon ng matrix na X. Okay? Any questions? Any questions? Wala. Okay. So, ang next na problem ay, wait lang. Okay, sorry. Next na problem dito ay yung square naman niya. Mx squared n. So, ang x squared, sinulat na natin kanina, ay equal sa h bar over 2m omega b, b plus b, b dagger plus b dagger b plus b dagger b dagger. Okay, so tignan muna natin yung x squared operating on ket n. So ito ay h bar over 2m omega. Okay, tapos um, b, b, ket n plus b, b dagger, ket n plus b dagger b, ket n plus b dagger, b dagger, ket n. Okay, so equal to sa h bar over 2m omega. Okay, so ano ang b operating on ket n? So alam natin yan na yan ay square root ng n. And then syempre hindi pa natin ino-operate yung pangalawang b, no? Tapos ito ay magiging sorry. Ito ay magiging n minus 1. Okay, so plus b, and then yung b dagger operating on n is square root ng n plus 1, tapos b, tapos n plus 1. Tapos yung next is b dagger, b operating on n, so square root ng n, and then b dagger, tapos n minus 1, plus b dagger, b dagger. So square root ng n plus 1, b dagger, and then ket n plus 1. Okay, next is h bar over 2m omega. Okay, so b operating on n minus 1 will give us square root of n. Okay, remember kung ano yun nandoon sa loob nung ano nung ket. Yun yung magiging coefficient niya. And then square root ng n minus 1. Okay, and then b, sorry, wala na yan. Then n minus 2. Okay. Tapos, plus. Okay. Okay. B dagger pala ito. Ito B dagger. Tapos, B operating on n plus 1. Okay, so n plus 1 na siya. And then, n plus 1 minus 1. So this will become ket n. Okay. Nakasunod ba? Okay. Next is plus square root of n, and then b dagger operating on n minus 1. Okay, ang magiging coefficient niyan is yung ket plus 1. Okay, kung ano nasa loob ng ket plus 1. So this is n minus 1 plus 1. So this is n. So this will become square root ng n squared or n. And then ito naman magiging ket n. Okay, plus ito naman square root ng n plus 1. Tapos, ito magiging n plus 2, yung coefficient niya. And then, ket n plus 2. Okay? Sabihin niyo kung may, kung may clarification para ma-explain ulit sa inyo. Ano, okay lang? Walang clarification? Wala. Okay. Okay, so, now we apply yung state M or bra M. Okay, dun sa bagong state, x squared n. So x squared, oops, and then ket n. So h bar over 2m omega. Okay, okay, tapos, yung first term is n times n minus 1 and then square root ket uh, m n minus 2 plus okay, n plus 1. Oh, sorry. Meron ako nakalimutang ano, banggitin. Okay, pansinin niyo ito. This is ket n and this is also ket n. So, i-add lang natin yung coefficients na to. So, basically, that's 2n plus 1, right? So, 2n plus 1, and then ket, um, bra m ket n. And then, yung last term is n plus 1, n plus 2, and then square root niyan, and then ket, oops, bra m ket n plus 2. Okay, so this gives us a equals h bar over 2m omega. Okay. Square root ng n minus 1, Kronecker delta m, n minus 2, plus 2n plus 1, Kronecker delta mn, plus n plus 1 times n plus 2, Kronecker delta ng m, n plus 2. Okay, so anong ibibigay naman sa atin ito? Anong klaseng matrix yung ibibigay sa atin ito? So in this case, ang ibibigay sa ating matrix ito, meron tayong diagonal elements. Okay, so may diagonal elements tayo. Pero wala tayong elements dun sa first off diagonal. Okay? Pero meron tayong elements dun sa second na off diagonal elements. Okay. So tingnan natin. So for row 1, okay, row 1, column 1, okay, this gives us, so obviously, makukuha lang natin yung contribution yan from here sa second term, 2n plus 1. So 2 times 1 plus 1. Okay, that's 3. Okay, sorry. May coefficient pa na. H bar over 2m omega times 3. Okay, and then for first row, second column, this will give us 0. Okay, and then for first row, third column, okay, this will give us, ang magko-contribute dyan ay itong first term, di ba? Kasi m equals 1 and then 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. So that will be n is equal to 3 dito. So 3 times 2. So that's square root of 6. So this is h bar over 2m omega square root of 6. And then the rest, dun sa row na yan, ay wala ng contribution. Okay, next. Second row, first column. Okay, so sa second row, first column, wala siyang magiging contribution or wala siyang makukuha from any of these terms. So this will become 0. And then sa third row, sorry, second row, second column, okay, ang makukuha niya rito ay galing dito sa second term. Okay, so that's 2 times 2. plus 1, so that's 5. Ah, hindi lang 5, kundi h bar over 2m omega times 5. Okay, and then wala rin tayong makukuha sa second row, third column, pero meron tayong makukuha sa second row. Okay, sa second row, um, fourth column. Kasi ang magko-contribute dyan ay itong term na ito. So, this term here. Tama ba? Oh, kasi m equals 2, n equals 4, di ba? So, this will become 2, 2, and then n times n minus 1. Ang n is 4. So, 4 times 3, so square root ng 12. So, this will give us square root ng 12. Tama? Okay, so paki-correct lang ako pag, pag meron kayong nakitang mistake. Okay, yung next na row, 3, and then first na column will give us something. Okay, so anong ibibigay niyan sa atin? Makukuha natin yung contribution yan from the third term dito. Okay, so this is 3, and this is 1 plus 2, so that's 3. And n equals 1, so 2 plus 3, so it's square root ng 6. So h bar 2 m omega square root ng 6. Okay, wala tayong makukuha for third row, second column, pero meron tayong makukuha sa third row, third column, at yun ay 2 times n plus 1, n is equal to 3, so 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1, so times 7. Okay, tapos third row, fourth column is also 0, pero yung third row, fifth column will give us h bar over 2m omega. Okay, so saan natin kukunin yan? Kunin natin yan dito sa first term. So this is 3 and this is 5 minus 2, which is also 3. So 5 times 4 is 20. So that's square root of 20. Okay? So ganyan yung ganyan yung mga matrix elements. So ganyan yung pag-compute ng matrix elements. So anong itsura ngayon nung matrix na to? Ang itsura ng matrix na to will be m x squared n is equal to h bar over 2m omega. Okay, so lahat ng diagonal elements, ay sorry, hindi 0, kundi 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. Okay, so mga odd numbers. Okay, starting from 3. And then, ito ay square root of 6. Ito ay square root of 6. This is square root of 12. And this is square root of 12. Okay? So, nakikita nyo ba yung pattern? So, kasi if you start from n equals 1, so you have, if you start from n equals 2, then you have 2 times 3, so that's 6. And then n equals 3, so that's 3 times 4, so 12. Pag n equals 4, this is 4 times 5, so 20. So ito ay square root of 20. Ay, sorry. Mali, mali. Sorry. Yung mga first na off-diagonal elements ay 0. Okay, so 0 dito, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. Then yung second na off-diagonal elements, dyan papasok yung square root of 6. Dito yung square root of 6. Tapos ito ay square root of 12. Tapos ito ay square root of 12. Tapos ito ay square root of 20. Ito ay square root of 20. And so on. Oops, mali. Ito ang square root of 20. Tapos 5 times 6 is 30. 4 times 5 is 20. Then 5 times 6 is 30. So square root ito ng 30. Okay, tapos ito ay 6 times 7. So square root ng 42. Okay, so ganyan yung kalalabasan dyan. So this is 0 and this is, oops, 0 to the square root of 30, okay, then 13. Okay, so iwan na lang natin ganyan muna. Okay, so ganyan yung itsura nung ano na yan, nung matrix na yan. The rest ay 0 na. Okay, so you can actually build yung full Hamiltonian, okay, nung tawag dito, nung system. Okay, and if you recall, ano bang itsura ng Hamiltonian ng system ng harmonic oscillator? Sige nga, sinong makakapagsabi ng Hamiltonian, okay, nung system? In terms of n. Okay, kasi nandoon na yan nandoon na yan sa book. Kung nabasa niyo mabuti. Okay, wala. Okay, so H is equal to H bar n plus 1/2. Okay? So, and yung Hamiltonian is given by, so you start off with, sandali, with this, di ba? So you start off with this Hamiltonian is equal to px squared over 2m plus m omega squared over 2x x squared. Okay, so you can derive itong expression na ito from this Hamiltonian. Okay, and you can also derive yung matrix, okay, corresponding to this Hamiltonian. And what you will get, okay, is ganito nga, di ba? What you will get is something like this. So h bar and then n plus 1/2. So diagonal elements lang siya. Wala kang off-diagonal elements. So n equals 1. So this is 3 halves, 5 halves, 7 halves, and so on and so forth. The rest ay 0. Alam niyo kung bakit, diagonal elements lang siya? Any idea kung bakit diagonal elements lang yung ating Hamiltonian? Wala. O kung merong sasagot, kung merong makasagot, bibigay ako ng +2 sa tawag dito, third exam. Kung makabigay ng tamang sagot, +2. Tamang sagot within the next 2 minutes. Sige, mag-guess lang kayo. Bakit diagonal elements lang yung ating Hamiltonian? Yun yung question. Any guess? Walang mag-attempt? Hindi. Yan yung mathematical na explanation. So ang sagot ng isa sa mga klase niyo is dahil po ba dun sa m equals n ng Kronecker delta? Well, mathematically, of course, tama yon. Pero, ang tanong ko is conceptual. Bakit diagonal elements lang yung present sa Hamiltonian? Yun nga. So basically, bakit m equals n lang yung nag-survive mathematically? Okay, so if you want to derive this, okay, basically ang gagawin nyo lang is, okay, ganyan lang, okay? And then you use this, okay, para ma-derive ito. Okay? But, here's the idea. Sige, kung may guess lang kayo, mag-type lang kayo dyan. If you have, for any system, any system can be described by Hamiltonian. Okay? But first, you have to express yung Hamiltonian in terms of yung kinetic energy and potential energy. Okay? What is the first step? Okay, when tawag dito, nagagawin ninyo pa every time na meron kayong meron kayong system na gusto niyo i-solve. Naalala niyo ba? So it's the answer, so guess, is it because the energy is quantized? No, hindi naman dahil quantized yung energy. Okay, yun yung inisip mo kung bakit diagonal elements lang siya. Okay, so it's not really that. I mean, quantum physics naman to eh. So any energy na mako-compute nyo is quantized. Sige. So any other guesses? So yung tanong ko so yung una kong tanong is bakit diagonal elements lang yun nandiyan? And then pangalawa kong tanong is will give you exactly the same answer as yung first question ko. Ang pangalawang kong tanong is ano yung first step na ginagawa ninyo when when you have a system that you want to solve? Ano ang very first na mathematical step? Measuring um, T. Hindi mo kaagad i-measure yan. I mean, mathematically, ano yung ginagawa nyo mathematically? Okay? So, sirit na. Okay. So, ang very first step na ginagawa nyo when you have a system, okay, is of course, after nyong ma-set up yung kinetic at saka potential ng system, ang very first step mathematically na gagawin nyo is to diagonalize it. So yung diagonalization, okay, na pinag-aaralan nyo pa sa 112, okay, sa 131, lahat nun ay gamit na gamit pagdating dito sa quantum physics kasi yan ang very first step na gagawin nyo for any system na na-identify nyo na yung Hamiltonian. Okay? Bakit? Kasi when you diagonalize it, then, ang matitira na lang ay yung diagonal elements. Kaya nga siya diagonalization. Kaya nga siya tinawag na diagonalization. Kasi you rotate yung matrix ninyo. Diagonalization is essentially a rotation of the matrix. Okay? Such that pag ni-rotate nyo siya, ang matitira lang ay yung diagonal elements. And when you have that, okay, sigurado kayo na yung mga diagonal elements na yan are your eigenvalues. Okay? Yan yung eigenvalues nung system. Okay? So, kaya puro diagonal elements yung mga yan kasi diagonalized na ang Hamiltonian na ito. Okay? So, yun yung idea dito. Okay. So, any questions? Nagme-make sense ba yan? Okay. Sige. Kung wala nang tanong din, let's proceed dito. So, how many, tawag dito, minutes pa tayo? So, 40 minutes. Okay. Okay, so for letter E, I'm going to let you solve this. Pero bibigyan ko kayo ng hint. So, if you go to yung second edition ng Levi, go to the equation 6.1.28 tsaka 6.129. Okay? That's where your hint will be coming from. Bakit itong dalawang equations na to? Kasi yung dalawang equations na yan already involves yung ang tawag dito? Yung time dependence. Okay? Now, ang kailangan yung maintindihan dito is paano napasok yung time dependence sa dalawang equations na yan. So you have to read back dun sa textbook. Pero here's a hint, another hint kung paano niyo approach yan. Okay, so yung wave function nyo is given by, oops, dito ko lang lalagay. Okay, so yung wave function nyo essentially is given by, so ito tayo na, psi, ket 1, ket 3. Okay, so ang gagawin nyo lang is try nyo i-relate yung wave function dito. Okay, kasi remember, ket 1 is just a 1 and then ket 3 is a 3. Okay, so yun lang yung kailangan nyo i-relate dito. Okay, and once you figure that out, maintindihan nyo na rin kung paano sagutan yung yung kung ano magiging sagot dito. Okay, basically yung answer dyan is 0 due to symmetry. So, syempre, ang ginagawa nyo rito is, I don't know, what is the time dependence of the state probability and what is the expectation value of the position operator. So, yung time dependence, i-rewrite nyo lang ito gamit ito, and then yung expectation value, of course, makukuha nyo from uh, getting getting this. Okay, yan yung expression for the expectation value. Pero tawag dito, dalawang states yan, ano? So, sabihin natin psi and then x and then psi. Na kung saan yung psi is given by this. So, you will see okay, na yung expectation value will give you 0 because of symmetry. But you have to show that, okay, you have to try to show that mathematically. Okay, straightforward lang yan. Kung paano natin ginagawa yung operations dito, okay, ganun din yung paggawa ng operations dito. Okay? Okay, sige. So that's it for harmonic oscillator. Now, itong concept na to is not just for you to understand how harmonic oscillators work. Okay, but it's also for you to understand yung mathematical formalism involving yung Dirac notation. Kasi gagamitin natin yun sa 182. Okay, in fact, wala tayong ibang gagamitin na formalism doon, mathematical formalism, kundi yung Dirac notation. Of course, nandiyan pa rin yung magde-derive tayo or gagamitin natin yung definition, integral definition ng mga expectation values, but in most cases, ang gagamitin natin ay yung tawag dito, Dirac notation. Okay, which will make things a lot easier. So, i-set up natin, for example, yung matrix, okay, corresponding to a Hamiltonian or to a system. And then later on then sa 182, pag-aaralan din natin yung specific kinds of systems, okay, like for example yung electron. Okay, so ang electron only has two states, okay, spin states specifically. Okay, and yung spin states na yon, yun yung ini-exploit pagdating sa quantum computing. So yung 182 will be a sort of a prelude towards how quantum computers work. So we have to understand yung spin states, electronic spin states, how they work, okay, and then yung mathematical formalism involving them in order to understand yung quantum computers. Okay, so yun yung mangyayari sa 182. And for you to understand ngayon 182, you also have to understand yung mathematics na nandito na pinag-aaralan natin ngayon. Okay? So, so we're going to move now to the next lesson. Okay, yung next lesson covers yung anong tawag dito? Part na to ng coverage ng fourth exam. Okay, so this will be yung hydrogen atom. Okay, so pag sinabing hydrogen atom, so maybe kailangan kong gumawa ng no, bagong notebook. Wala tayong bagong. Save as untitled. Okay, so na siya. Ayun. Okay, okay. Oops. Okay, sandali ah. So, ang reference na ginagamit natin ngayon dito ay Griffiths na. So, we're shifting to Griffiths. Okay, so kasi mas maganda yung discussion, tsaka mas extensive yung discussion ng ano. So, Griffiths section chapter 4. So, this is quantum mechanics in three dimensions. So, ito yung gagamitin natin. Oh, shoot. Search from photos. Okay, pag sinabi nating hydrogen atom, ano ang system na yun? The system involves single electron, okay, and of course, isang positive charge which is present dun sa neutron. Okay? So yung neutron at saka proton nandun sila sa isang space. Okay? So yun yung nangyayari. That's basically your hydrogen atom. It's a very simple system, pero yung mathematics involved to describe that, okay, it's not as simple as yung itsura ng system. So, of course, we can describe yung system in terms of in terms of or by using Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, pero ang problem sa Cartesian coordinate system is that tawag dito, it does not account for yung rotation. Okay. It can account for yung rotation, but then you have two variables. So for example, along the XY plane, if you want to account for the rotation, meron kang theta. And then you also have X and Y, so three variables actually. Okay, so, and if you also want to account yung azimuthal na angle, then you'll have four variables kasi you also have the azimuthal angle. Okay, so it's very complicated. It will be more complicated kung halimbawa magka-Cartesian coordinate system tayo. But Okay, if we use spherical coordinates, okay, like the one that we have here, then we all need to use anong tawag dito? Three types of variables. Okay, independent variables. Yung radius, that is how far the electron is from the positive charge. Okay, yung planar angle or yung polar angle, which is yung theta. Okay, theta na describe dito sa picture. Okay, so yan yung polar angle. Okay, and then we have the azimuthal angle. Okay, so which is yung angle along the xy plane. So it's possible now to describe yung behavior along this angle, along the plane xy, and then yung behavior niya, okay, along the polar. Okay, so polar north south kaya siya tinawag na polar angle. Okay, tawag dito. When we do this, okay, we will see, okay, na madederive natin, okay, when we do the mathematics for this, we will be able to derive yung mga quantum numbers. So first na madederive natin ay yung tinatawag na principal quantum number, which corresponds to the state, okay, of yung electron. Okay? Pag sinabing state ng electron, it means kung nasang orbit siya. Okay, so n equals 1 corresponds to the ground state, n equals 2 corresponds to the first excited state, and so on and so forth. So yun yung unang quantum number na makukuha natin, the principal quantum number. The next is, ang susunod na makukuha natin ay yung tinatawag na magnetic quantum number. So that's M sub L. Lalagyan ko lang M sub L dyan. Okay, and that magnetic quantum number ay mag-arise dahil sa tawag dito symmetry along the xy plane. Okay? Then yung next na na tawag dito na makukuha natin na quantum number ay yung orbital angular momentum na quantum number. So this is the principal quantum number. Next is the magnetic quantum number. And then yung orbital angular momentum quantum number. Okay, so with this, pwede na natin i-describe yung behavior nung hydrogen atom, hydrogen system. Okay, sa 182, we're going to extend this discussion. Okay, and derive yung spin quantum number and yung um, M sub S. I don't remember kung ano exactly itong ano na to, M sub S. But it's also related in the same way as yung M sub L ay related sa F. But for electrons, magdedepend yung ms sa actually magdedepend yung S, yung spin quantum number sa kung anong klaseng system siya. Kung electron siya, photon siya, or tawag dito, leptons, quarks, ganon. Iba-iba kasi yung spin quantum numbers for them. And then yung M sub S will depend on yung S. Okay, so yan yung kalalabasan. Pero so again sa 182 na to. Sa 182 na yung concept niya. Okay, so ito, yan yung makukuha natin dito sa 18 sa 181. Okay, so how do we make sense of these numbers? Okay, so from chemistry, okay, medyo related na tong mga numbers na to. O medyo related yung numbers na to sa chemistry. Okay, so this corresponds to the first tawag dito, orbit. Okay. This corresponds to the orbital angular momentum. Okay. Pero it also corresponds, sa chemistry, it corresponds to how many states are present within an orbit. And this one corresponds to, tawag dito, for an electron. Okay. Sorry. This one corresponds to kung ilang pairs of states ang meron sa isang quantum number. So, ang ibig ko sabihin is this. Oops. So, ang ibig ko sabihin is this. So, sa chemistry, di ba, meron tayong electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, and so on and so forth. Okay, so yung N dito is this one. And then yung L is this one. Actually, M sub L yan. Oh, well, pwede rin L. So for example, for n equals 1, yung L for this state is just uh, n equals 1, ang L for this state is just 0 and 1. So dalawa. Okay? Ganun din para sa S. Okay? Para sa P, it's 2. So 0, 1, and 2. Okay? So, yan yung sa P. Ngayon, anong role ng M sub L? Ang M sub L dyan is actually parang pair kasi yan eh. Okay, so instead of 3, you have 6 para sa P. And instead of just, sandali. 0, 1, instead of 2, 0. Sorry, 0 lang pala sa S. So instead of just 1, you have 2. Okay, so saan galing itong mga 2 tsaka 6 na to? Well, galing yan dito. Okay, napag-aaralan natin sa 182. Okay, sa spin, if you recall sa chemistry, you have yung spin up tsaka spin down at yun yung M sub S. Okay, na alam natin or na madiderive natin sa 182. Okay, so each of those states, each of those ML, okay, has corresponding spin up tsaka spin down. Kaya imbes na isa lang yan, dalawa yan, at imbes na tatlo, anim yan. Okay, yun yung kailangan i-fill. Okay, sa chemistry, fini-fill natin yan, di ba? So, yan yung relationship ngayon nung nangyayari dito with chemistry. So, in fact, chemistry is nothing but quantum physics. Okay, pero iba yung approach natin. Okay? So, um, kung bakit, for example, in n equals 1, 0 lang yung L, and then for n equals 2, you have 0 and 1. At kung bakit ang M sub L mo is, for example, -1, 0, -1. Okay, lahat yan ay ma-explain mathematically sa mga gagawin natin in the next few days. Okay. Now, for this meeting, I'm going to start with a simple concept, yung separation of variables. Okay, so that's yan yung starting point natin. Okay. But for the next meeting, I would like for you to review. Okay? So ilalagay ko dito, no? Review yung concept ng associated Legendre function, okay, na pinag-aralan nyo sa 1, 2, 3. Okay, yung Rodriguez formula. Okay, related lang yan sila sa isa't isa. On top of that, okay, pag-aralan nyo rin yung tinatawag na, i-review nyo rin yung tinatawag na spherical harmonics. Okay? And gagamitin din natin yan dito sa anong tawag dito? Sa derivation. And then, yung isa pa ay um, yung spherical Bessel functions or spherical Newman functions. Okay, so nasa 1, 2, 3 yan lahat. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2 or 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Hindi ako sure kung saan exactly. Okay, pinapa-review ko yan sa inyo kasi para pag diniscuss natin to next meeting, okay, hindi yan unfamiliar sa inyo at alam niyo kung paano gamitin yung mga functions na yan. Itong ano na to, itong discussion nito, okay, tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, is also from Griffiths. So yung reference natin dito ay Griffiths, and this is chapter 4 sa Griffiths. Okay? Okay, so sige, simulan na natin yung discussion. So of course, everything starts from the tawag dito, the Schrödinger equation. Okay, so this is the Schrödinger equation for the tawag dito. This is the generalized Schrödinger equation, and this is a time-dependent Schrödinger equation. Now, alam natin na yung Hamiltonian is composed of yung kinetic energy, okay, plus yung potential energy. And yung kinetic energy is simply stated as, tawag dito, yung momentum squared divided by 2m. Pero yung potential will depend on the system. In this case, yung system na pinag-aaralan natin, okay, is anong tawag dito? Um, uh, Hydrogen atom, which means it's nothing but yung electrostatic force, electrostatic potential between a positive charge at saka a negative charge. Okay. Now, to make things simpler, okay, tanggalin muna natin yung time dependence. Okay. So, ang mangyayari lang dito is yung Hamiltonian natin will then be equal to del squared um, psi plus v psi. Del squared 1 over 2, sorry, negative h bar squared over 2m del squared and then psi plus yung potential and then psi. Okay, so ito ngayon yung time independent na Schrödinger equation. And tulad ng sinabi natin kanina, instead of using yung Cartesian coordinate system, we're going to use spherical coordinates, okay, spherical polar coordinates. Now, yung spherical polar coordinates for del squared is given by 1 over r squared, partial with respect to r squared, partial with respect to r, okay, plus 1 over r squared sine theta, partial with respect to theta, and then sine theta partial with respect to theta, okay, plus 1 over r squared sine squared theta, and then partial squared with respect to phi. Okay. Okay, so if we plug that in sa ating Schrödinger equation, okay, we have negative, okay, so na yun? So, medyo, para hindi tayo maubusan ng oras. Kumag ko na to. Okay, anong gusto kong gawin? I-apply ko na to sa isang wave function. Okay, yun yung gusto kong gawin. Oops. So, ito yung del squared natin at i-apply ko to sa wave function. Okay, and then meron tayong negative h bar squared over 2m and then plus v and then yung wave function psi. Okay, so yan na yung ating Hamiltonian. Okay, at equal yan sa e psi. Okay, from yung time-dependent na Schrödinger equation. Time-independent na Schrödinger equation. So ito ay magiging equal sa E, and then psi. Okay, now we're going to do a separation of variables. And we can only do this if walang time dependence yung potential, at kung yung potential ay tawag dito, wala ring dependence sa uh, theta, sa r theta or phi. Well, pwede siya maging dependent on either one of them. Pwede siya maging dependent on, tawag dito, uh, well, okay. So specifically, since we're talking about electrostatic potential. Alam natin na electrostatic potential is just proportional to 1 over r, 'di ba? So wala siyang a constant siya around the azimuth, right? And constant din siya along the polar angles. So hindi na natin aalalahanin yung when using the separation of variables, hindi natin i-include yung potential, okay, when we separate these into theta, phi, and r. So isingit lang natin yung potential dun sa radial na component. So wala siya dun sa azimuthal at saka sa polar components. Okay, so makikita niyo ibig ko sabihin mo konti. So separation of variables meaning this, okay, which is dependent on r, theta, and phi, will be separated into yung radial component and yung tawag dito, components involving theta and phi. So when we do that, so we have h bar squared over 2m. Okay, so 1 over r squared partial with respect to r squared partial with respect to r, okay, ng, anong tawag dito? Ng r, and then syempre constant yung y, di ba? Okay, kasi hindi naman siya dependent sa r. Okay, plus 1 over r squared sine theta partial with respect to theta sine theta d d theta. So this will be y, and ito may capital R ka dyan. Plus, may capital R ka rin dyan, r squared sine squared theta partial with respect to phi, okay, ng y. Okay, kasi yung y is dependent on both theta and phi. So this will be, oops, plus v psi equals E psi. Or in terms of R and Y. So plus V Ry, di ba? Ry equals sa E Ry. Okay? Okay. So next is we divide everything by YR. So divide by YR. So divide by YR or RY. Okay, and then also multiply by negative 2m over h bar squared. Okay, so tapos magdadagdag tayo ng r squared dito. Okay. So what this does, okay, ito, ang gagawin niya is ika-cancel niya to. Okay, and everything else dito sa bawat terms na to. And what this does is ika-cancel niya tong term na ito. Okay, at i-move niya sa kabilang side. Okay, and then you'll see what this does. Okay. So ang mangyayari dyan is when you simplify that, you get 1 over r d dr, okay, r squared d dr r minus 2m r squared over h bar squared v of r minus e, okay, and then plus 1 over y, okay, 1 over sine theta times sine theta uh, partial with respect to theta ng y, okay, plus 1 over sine squared theta partial squared with respect to phi ng y. At yan ay equal to 0. Okay, so paano nangyari yan? Okay, so ang ginagawa nitong r squared is kakancel niya to. So you have sine theta dyan, sine theta dyan. Pero since we divided everything by ry, magkakancel din ito. Okay, and then ito will give us itong term na ito. Kaya may 1 over y din dyan. And then, ito naman, okay, so this will become cancelled with this. So magkakaroon ka ng 1 over r dyan. That's why you have 1 over r there. Okay, and tawag dito. So mawawala na yan. Then if you divide this by ry, so v na lang to, and then this will become e. Tapos ilipat nyo lahat sa kabilang side. Okay, so yun yung term na ito. And remember na yung potential is dependent only on the radial component. Okay, wala siyang dependence sa azimuthal at sa polar. Okay, so yun yung derivation dito. Now we notice na itong part na ito is composed of only the radial component, and itong part na ito, itong part na ito is only composed of the azimuthal and polar components. Now, in separation of variables, ang ginagawa natin dito is to use is for these two equations to be equal, okay, gagamit tayo ng constant. Okay? Para anong tawag dito? Para ma-separate natin yung dalawang variables. And when we use that constant, okay, pwede na natin anong tawag dito? Solve yung isang equation, okay? And then i-solve din yung pangalawang equation. So you essentially have two differential equations. Okay, and dahil na-separate mo nga siya into simpler variables, single variables. So you can solve one of them easily. Okay, so anong constant ang gagamitin natin dito? So we let the constant be equal to, okay, and it's not straightforward na intuitive, but we were going to let it be equal to, okay, let me just finish writing this, equal to L times L plus 1. Okay. In the same way, 1 over y, yung isang term dito will also be equal to okay, this time it's negative L times L plus 1. Okay? Kailangan negative to kasi pag inad mo tong dalawa, dapat maging equal siya sa 0. Okay? So, tulad ng sinabi ko, it's not intuitive. Okay? Kung bakit L times L plus 1 dyan. Pero mas magiging obvious yan when we discuss yung derivation. Okay, when we solve these tawag dito, these equations, these differential equations. So dito meron kang differential equation involving RR, and then dito may differential equation ka involving theta and phi. So what we're going to do next is to do a separation of variables so that we have theta a Greek letter theta, and then we have yung Greek letter na capital phi. So, theta dapat ito. Okay. Okay? So ganyan yung next step. And we're going to do that next meeting. Okay? So, any questions? Any questions? Teka, ayun. At least na-record ko. Okay, so kung wala ng questions, then I hope you have a good evening, and I will see you next Friday. Okay, thank you.